the sheriff is the most powerful law enforcement officer in the country and has the ultimate say in his county. No one supersedes his jurisdiction. And I want this made very clear. The President of the United States cannot tell your sheriff what to do. And in that same vein, none of the auxiliary departments below the President can tell the sheriff what to do. Quite to the contrary, when they're in his jurisdiction, he can tell them what to do. And I pray for the day that a sheriff in this country will arrest an IRS agent for trespassing or for trying or attempting to victimize citizens in that particular sheriff's county. The county sheriff, America's last hope, is a detailed and documented evidence, irrefutable evidence, that the sheriff is indeed the ultimate authority in his county. It talks about the history of the sheriff, talks about the duties of the sheriff, talks about the sheriff's oath of office, and then I pose a question in the book. Sheriff, will you or won't you stand against tyranny? Can you imagine any sheriff saying no, or pragmatically saying no by what he does? This is a time for action, and this is a time for sheriffs to stand up and be counted. It's time to walk tall, Sheriff. Get on board. In 1994, I was one of a handful of sheriffs, and being the first in the country to file a lawsuit against the Clinton administration. And the long story short is, we won. And you can Google the Mack Printz, P-R-I-N-T-Z, Sheriff Printz from Montana, Sheriff Mack from Arizona. We took a case all the way to United States Supreme Court on the side of states' rights and state sovereignty and local autonomy. We won. We kicked the federal government's butt. And it was the Clinton administration. And we lived to tell about it. How about that for a miracle? And the ultimate power of this decision is that it restored the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. It restored the rights of the local authorities to tell the federal government where to hang it. And this is exactly the power that James Madison was talking about when he said, we can safely rely on the disposition of state legislatures to erect barriers against the encroachments of the federal government. And so that's exactly what sheriffs should be doing, not allowing the federal government carte blanche in your county, but quite the opposite, keeping them in check. And just like my Supreme Court decision says, hence a double security arises to the rights of the people. And this principle of the separation of the two powers between local authorities and the federal government is one of the Constitution's structural protections of liberty. So what are we doing here when we stand against federal intervention? We are providing constitutional protections to our citizens, exactly what we promised to do when we took our oath of office.